Hi there. In this video we will be polishing and treating to prevent this again some Ford C-Max 2 headlights. If we take a quick look, we can see some marks even on the paint. So somebody tried to do something about them at a point in time. I think only with some sandpaper. Obviously that's not good and it's not enough. So depending on how deep these scratches are, you will be starting with coarser or finer sandpaper. You can search online to see a few opinions on what to start with. I will be looking and see what I already have at home and choose something from that. But even before that, mask all around with something like this, masking paper, I think it's called. We don't want to scratch the paint, doesn't make sense. Masking part is finished. Now let's see what sandpaper I have. So I have these leftovers from cutting some round ones. These are 240s, I think most of them, so they are too coarse in my opinion. This is a 360, which again I think it's still too coarse. I don't have any deep scratches on my headlights, so I'm trying to just take the top off. Found some 600. I think this is what I will start with. Then go to 800, then go to 1000 and 1200, and then use polishing paste. You can go even higher. I've seen people go up to 3500 and then polishing paste. It depends on what you want, how your headlights look like to begin with, what you are willing to pay for. You can buy a polishing kit from start to finish that will contain everything that you need, but I have this. I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to use them. I have this all-purpose polishing compound, which is more, I think, for car paint, not really headlights, but I will just go light and light with it. Should be good enough. And the only thing that I actually bought for this is the lamp protect that we will put on them after polishing, because if you don't put a coat on them after polishing, they will get right back to where they were from UV light from the sun. So you kind of need this. Whatever you have the rest at your disposal, but this you kind of need it. Otherwise you are just working for a few months and then you need to do it again. At this point you could use tools. You could use your hands, like I am going to use it, just like this. Go light and light on them. Do not push too much. We don't want any deep scratches. You can, I think, also use wet sanding. It depends a lot on your situation, but yeah. Hopefully you will manage to do it properly. I've done it on my wife's Lupo. I will link the video in the description, and it worked really well, again with what I had around the house. So I didn't broke the bank. But yeah, if you want to be more certain of your end result, yes, you can buy dedicated products, of course. And yes, use some gloves. Starting with sandpaper, you can see these, which are all sorts of imperfections. You want to try and get rid of them and get somewhat of an uniform surface like this, but don't go too deep into the headlight. Sometimes you cannot get rid of all of them, depending on how old and what plastic this is and what were the conditions it went through. Just an update, this area feels really smooth. It had some problems in here, managed to get them out. We still have problems, you can see them in here, and this feels coarse. So this we still need to work on and get them out. Not really important, it's only over the signal. This is what's most important. You want to be able to see the road properly. but we will continue to get them out. I consider the first step done. The bigger the initial grit, easier it will be to remove what I had in here, for example, but then it will leave deeper scratches that you need to remove later with finer grit. So I prefer like this, now finer grit and then polish it directly. I managed to get all of it with a bit of elbow grease. Done. Next, 1000. Also done. Next, 1200. Just a word of warning. Rubbing this in here creates heat. You do not want too much heat. So if you feel it's starting to burn your hand, just back up and let it cool down. If you use power tools, use them on really low rotation speed, because they will burn this, and then you will have a huge problem which maybe you cannot solve anymore. Squirted too much of the polishing paste onto this, but hey, there's that. Let's see how this goes. Let's polish. Elbow grease. I'm losing daylight really quickly, but first impression, this is working really well. But I might need to finish tomorrow because I literally cannot see what I'm doing. I didn't want to do it in the middle of the day because it was too hot, and you are not supposed to do any of this under the direct sun. But it got way too late at this point. So wipe this off. I don't want to leave any polishing paste on this overnight. Wipe it fully off and make it clean, and continue tomorrow. It's morning and I can take a better look. And from what I can see in here, sanding was not enough. We still have roughness in the top surface, and that needs to go away before being able to properly polish this. So clearly there's more sanding to be done in here. Maybe now you can see it a bit better. That doesn't need to be there. Yep, this is how it looks. So moral of the story, don't do this while it's getting dark. You will not see what you are doing. We need to get rid of this and have a uniform surface. Yeah, I went down to 360 granulation because nothing else would get rid of those microscopic bumps. So this will suck because this leaves deeper grooves that I then need to remove with finer granulation sandpaper. And yes, do your best to work in circles like this, not like this. I didn't like how this was going at all. This had some really deep marks on it, so I started with some 260 that I already had, and then bought these things. Obviously they are mixed now, because why wouldn't they be? So 320, then 400, then 800, and I will continue with 1200, 1500 and 2000. And make sure with each of these numbers increasing, I have no marks of the previous one. So at the end this should be all milky and smooth. So to sum this up, I tried with my leftovers. They were not enough, so I needed to buy some proper big sheets, almost A4. And yes, some use some a block, put this on a block and use it. I like to do it like this and my hands, because this has all kinds of weird shapes to it. 320 done, let's go to 400. 400 done, let's go to 800. Masked the second headlight. I want to bring this one to the same level as the other one. This is what we want to remove. All of this needs to be fully gone. This is what we did not remove the first time. And I think I will start with 320 on this one, not 260. This one is a bit less bad than the previous one. This headlight did not yet have its protection layer on this area fully destroyed. This barely catches. It mostly slides over it. Really hard for it to catch, as opposed to here. So this is what we are going to try to put back with that UV protection clear coat. Without that, basically you are missing the protection, and your headlight is way weaker. And that's what you see at you saw at the top. The protection layer was mostly damaged. Just as an idea, 320, 800. So the smaller the grid, actually the higher the number, it's more clear even before polishing. And yes, an ugly rain made the car dirty. And it's another day, and I'm doing just a quick alcohol wipe to see if I'm going the right way, and I don't see any deep gouges anywhere. So let's go to 1200. 1200 finished. Let's go next to 1500. At this point the headlight is almost as it was when I started, and we didn't even polish anything. Let's go to 2000. Looking much better, and from this point on we are going to start the polish itself. And in theory you just center this in here and put it on. Make sure you have it evenly distributed. I don't, so I need to readjust it with both hands, and that should be it. And it's on. Make sure you don't have any abrasive particles on it, because that would scratch whatever you are trying to polish. And yeah, put some polishing paste. I'm using something like this. Yes, it's not ideal for headlights, but I'm still trying to see what I will get. If I don't like it, I need to get something for headlights. Hopefully it will work. Not sure exactly how much to put, maybe I put too much, but hey, it is what it is. Let's start. Initial impression, this seems to be going quite well. I might need even more polishing paste, but I will continue and see what we get. Seems to be working, but I still can see some tiny scratches, so yeah, I need to do more polishing. As far as I know, it's not okay to have a too high RPM. You can destroy the plastic by heating it. This cannot. 550 rotations. Put paste, do not let it dry, so don't do this in the sun, and don't stay too much in one place, just move around all the time. Really hard to show with one hand, but yeah, something like this. I'm doing a quick alcohol clean just to see where I'm at, but it's much better already. Switching to this wool pad, because of the shape of these headlights, the other one was just not properly conforming to the shape, and it was much harder to hit all, so this should do a better job. Hey, this works much better. Second headlight is almost finished. I just have to insist a little bit more on the edges. Polishing is completed. It's not perfect, there are still really fine marks, but I took a look at the headlights on my A4 and they are way worse than this. So my OCD might be kicking in and I might be trying to do this much too well. Let me just give you a bird's eye view of this. Yeah, I think it's good compared to what it was. So now my daughter here helping me. Let's wipe this with alcohol and put the protection layer on it. A final wipe down, isopropylic alcohol, and then we will put the clear coat. Okay, now let's apply this by reading its instructions. If you need other languages, feel free to pause. So do not swallow it or do not get it on your skin, hence the gloves. Ooh, damaged organs. We don't want that, do we? Do it outside? Yeah. Okay. Let's see exactly how I need to do this. I will just follow the instruction, nothing more, nothing less. So depending on what product you buy, the instructions might differ. Do not follow mine, follow yours. It seems I need to put a cloth on the applicator, shake that, put it in here, spread it evenly, and wait 5 to 10 minutes until I buff it out, polish it a little bit with this which is included. So let's apply it. Something like this. Make sure it's all over the headlight. Be back when I finish. First layer is done. Now let's wait 7 minutes until we buff it out. Time to buff it out. As you can see, it's not yet actually dried, so you are somehow removing the excess. Next, half an hour has passed and I'm going to do the second and final application on both headlights. And it's done, and now we wait for another 5 minutes, and all of this is being done in the shade and on cold headlights. I will actually wait about 7 or 8 minutes, not only 5. And there's a chance these were not for polishing but for applying. Anyway, I still use them for polishing. While waiting for time to pass for the final polish, actually it's more of a wiping of excess. I removed all of the protection all around. So let's slowly do this. And we're finished. But now I cannot really wash the car properly with chemicals for about 7 days until everything fully cures in here. So yeah, it will sit with all of those rain marks on it. Nothing that I can do. And yes, obviously the other one looks just as good. And those are I don't know, how can I say, dust marks. Fine, probably it's just some plastic that I've grinded down while polishing this thing. So yeah, finally done. If you don't take into consideration the fact that it's dirty from that rain, I think again we had some Sahara sand. Yes, it happens even in Romania. That's weird, but hey, because it's really yellowish. So there's that. Headlights looking awesome. And finally this has been finished. It wasn't easy, it didn't work with what I had at hand at first. I needed to buy some supplies. So if you don't trust yourself, just have a professional do this. It will take a lot of time. If you do it yourself, a professional will do it much faster, but it will cost more. So that's up to you. But hey, yeah, at least we learned a few things. And yeah, now the car is looking a bit nope. Yeah, we need to do this again on these things, but luckily they can be taken out and I can do this on my workbench and I don't need to be outside. So yeah, there's that. And I still have some of that UV protection, about a third of the bottle, so I can put on those also. If you want, that will be a new video on the channel, so subscribe. And again, hope this video helped you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye!